Hi guys, welcome back. It's me, Lisette, all by myself today, which is totally fine because social distancing and all. I'm just kidding. So I just wanted to recap with you guys based on what happened last week and then also entering into Holy Week. So last week we had Palm Sunday, so now we know that Jesus is now officially in the holy city of Jerusalem. And now we are heading into Holy Week. So there's a lot going on this week. So I just wanted to help you guys understand what's going to be to come and hopefully lead into Easter Sunday, which is when Jesus resurrects. But before that, we have this thing called the Holy Triduum, which celebrates 3 days. So it's Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and then Holy Saturday. And these 3 days are really crucial because it all leads up to that Easter Sunday where we finally get Jesus resurrected. So on Holy Thursday, let's just start off there, we focus on the Last Supper, which is, as we all know, one of the first times we get introduced to what is the Eucharist for us at Mass and why it's really important. We also get to experience the washing of the feet with Jesus and his disciples, and then we also see a little bit of the agony in the garden where Jesus is pleading with God to let him take this cup, take the suffering away from him, but ultimately he comes to understand that his suffering is not in his own will but in God's will, and he knows that God has asked him to do this for us, to get rid of our sins. So he does it, and then he gets arrested. So this all takes place during Holy Thursday, and usually at Mass what they end up doing is during this time they would actually perform the washing of the feet during this time on this day, which is pretty cool. Then we head into Good Friday, and Good Friday may be weird as to why it's called Good Friday if we're going to be focusing on Jesus dying on Good Friday, but the good thing that we know is that through his death there is new life, there is a new hope that we will all finally get to be in heaven one day with him. So in Good Friday we're focusing on the suffering and also the death. So during Good Friday, usually the way the celebration starts is with the Via Crucis, as we all call them, the Stations of the Cross, which are sometimes usually led outside, and then they process in with this big old play about the stations. And then finally, after the stations are done, we head inside the Mass. And the Mass for Good Friday is very short because it's really not a Mass, but more of a reflection. And usually the way that Mass ended, as I remember it, is just having the cross with you and kind of receiving that blessing. So everyone would just come up to the cross and they would either do a sign of a blessing. So they would like hold on to it, they would say a prayer, they sometimes would kiss it, symbolizing that this cross is now not just a symbol of death, but of new life. So then after Good Friday is we have Holy Saturday, which is actually one of the longest masses that we usually have in our church. It's usually about like 3 hours or so, if I remember. And what I really like about Holy Saturday is if you guys have ever had the opportunity to come to a Holy Saturday Mass, yeah, it's long, and I know I get it that some of you guys can't even stand an hour-long Mass, but it's really beautiful because there's so many things going on in that Mass. The Mass, first of all, starts outside, and it's usually done with a blessing of the fire. And the reason why they do that is because they're bringing in the new Paschal baptismal candle for our church, and they're blessing the fire that's going to be put on that candle. And we know that fire, is a symbol of the Holy Spirit. So they do that blessing outside, and then afterwards they all process in with lit candles inside our church. And after that, then they have so many readings there. That there's about 9 readings in this Mass. And then after they do all the 8 readings before the last reading, which is the Gospel, we're still focusing on Jesus' death. And Holy Saturday is technically the day that we focus on the last day that Jesus is dead in the tomb. So right after the last reading and before the gospel starts, they usually have the Gloria sung, which means that now we are entering into the time where Jesus is now risen and he is out of the tomb. So now it starts getting a little bit lighter. Now we're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. So the Holy Saturday is just a visual of what's to come for Easter Sunday. And then Easter Sunday as well, now we're focusing on the resurrection of Christ. And most of us, if we've known about Easter, we tend to focus on the eggs and egg hunting, but it's more than that. We come to understand that Jesus defeated death, defeated hell, got out of there, and is now living and conquered death. So great sign for us, because now, because of Jesus' suffering and what his sacrifice that he did for us, now we have the option to heaven. So with all of that, hopefully that gets you guys a little bit excited for Holy Week. And throughout this week, we're going to do it a little bit differently than what we've done in the last couple of weeks. We are going to be sending you guys links to the masses for each of the Holy Triduums. So just keep an eye on that. We will be posting that on Google Classroom so that you guys can watch it and actually participate. So if this is your first time watching them, you kind of know, I gave you a little bit of preview of what's to come for those specific masses. The other thing too that we're still doing is that we're still having a Bible study this week to focus on the gospel for this Sunday. So we're still going to be doing that. And then the special thing that we're going to be doing for you guys is Life Teen has actually posted a video, a little reflection on the Stations of the Cross. So we will be putting that up on Friday so that you guys can join us in a little bit of reflection on the Stations of the Cross as well. So with all that being said, a couple of announcements that we just have for you guys is to just be active this week. Our break is coming up next week, but for this week we still are meeting, so make sure you guys still do the Bible study reflection. Make sure that you guys are watching the masses, and not all the masses are required, but we are asking you to participate. The only mass that we're going to have you guys count for is Easter Sunday, and there will be the survey following the mass. So make sure you guys complete both of those things. There's also a life night this Sunday, but you guys are not required to do it. But if you're missing, I would highly recommend that you guys take this time to really take advantage of the global life nights that they're doing. And I think this week they're talking about love. So that would be very interesting to watch. With that being said, guys, just make sure you guys stay tuned for the Bible study, and we'll see you soon. Like and subscribe, and we love you guys. We're here for you. Bye.